Well, Elon Musk taking to Twitter, the platform he now owns and operates, urging, quote, independent-minded voters, close quote, to cast their ballots for Republicans in the midterm elections today. Here's what he tweeted, quote, shared power curbs the worst excess of both parties. Therefore, I recommend voting for a Republican Congress, given that the presidency is Democratic. That is a complete, by the way, contradiction of what he tweeted just a few months ago when he wrote, quote, for Twitter to deserve public trust, it must be politically neutral, which effectively means upsetting the far right and the far left equally. Let's talk to probably the only tech journalist who has interviewed both Elon Musk on her podcast and John Fetterman recently on a number of these issues, on with Kara Swisher's The Pod. Kara, thank you very much. Beyond the contradiction of Elon Musk, which is clear there, he owns this powerful platform now. And we have seen an increase in misinformation on it and hate speech just since he took over. What's the big picture here?
Well, he likes to tweet, and he says whatever he feels like when he tweets, and it doesn't have to have, he doesn't care about contradictions. He does what he feels like. If you read it, that's not the worst quote yesterday. Although, you know, that's what he believes. He actually does believe that one, in being in the middle. He thinks of himself as an independent. He said he's always voted Democrat along with those tweets. And this year he voted Republican. I tweeted back at him. So that means, because he wants everyone to be equal, I guess. If there's a Democratic president, you know, the House and the Senate should be Republican. And then I tweeted back, because apparently he lives in Texas, that means he's voting for Beto, right? And so it's just, he's just playing games. He's just.
But that was
and I
a
went,
very smart
cool,
tweet.
Great.
That was very smart on your part, because how is that independent? And listen, it's completely inappropriate.
Yeah.
But how is that even responsible when you have a platform like Twitter, which is perhaps the most influential social media platform in the world?
Right. Well, is it? I don't know if it is. No, here's the thing. He owns it.
At least for messaging.
That's why he paid. Yeah, he paid $44 billion for it, so that's why he can do it. And he can do whatever he wants, which he's been doing over the past couple of weeks to the company, to different users of it, demanding money from people that he's going to charge this $8 for your blue check. So he can do it because he paid $44 billion.
Kara, does this at all make you think of, you know, when you see these moguls who in the past would buy newspapers and now we're seeing Elon buy Twitter, and it seems like all of these decisions he's making about verification, account suspension, now using the platform to weigh in a way that we really haven't seen someone do before. You know, he's kind of just making these things up as he goes based on his own experiences on Twitter.
Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. He's creating the Twitter he wants. And, you know, he was an active user of it, so he does know the product really well. A lot of people who buy companies don't use any of the products, but he's an avid and almost obsessive, and I might say, like myself, addictive user of the product. And, you know, so he's doing what he wants to do. So I don't know what to say. He bought it. It's now a private company. It's not a public company.
Right.
He has no one he's beholden to. And this is what he does. A lot of media people do that. Although I have to say, Rupert Murdoch looks, you know, controlled in comparison.
Can I ask you this real quickly on this subject before we move on? You have someone like, you know, a celebrity like Whoopi Goldberg saying, I'm done, you know, unless it improves.
Yeah.
Is that concerning at all? Do you think Elon Musk cares about that? What do you think?
No, he doesn't care. He was touting how much it's up now. He's creating chaos, and it might remind you of some other person who recently got kicked off the platform, who's probably coming back. He loves chaos. He's a chaos monkey, as we say in Silicon Valley. So that's what he's doing.
Let me read you this from Donald Trump Jr. This is something he said a few days ago, quote, I believe that if you're going to be a United States senator, you should have basic cognitive function. He went on to say it doesn't seem that unreasonable to have a working brain. He said, we're up against a Democratic Party today that doesn't believe that a U.S. senator should not have mush for a brain. Speaking about candidate for Pennsylvania Senate, John Fetterman, I ask you this because you not only had Fetterman on your podcast for more than an hour, you suffered a similar stroke and recovered to speak in the way you do today. So anything you'd like to say in response? We hope you feel better, but anything you'd like to say in response to that?
I really enjoy Dr. Donald Trump Jr. He's really great. He went to Dr. Google University. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. There's a difference between sensory problems. I had a lot of them, and I talked. I had a very hard problem sustaining small talk and things like that. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. When I interviewed him, he was cognitively able to answer questions. I got a lot of flack for saying that, but he was. It was a long interview. You can listen to it. We didn't change. He had a lot of ums and ahs, like a lot of people, by the way. And he was able to answer questions. This is such a cynical attempt to make someone look like he can't think, and he obviously can think. It's just not. That's not the case.
Kara Swisher, we hope you feel better. You can go back to bed
Thank
now.
you.
Thank you for getting up for us.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I
Kara.
need a doctor. I need an actual doctor. Actually.
Okay, we're sending one over.
We've got a few that we
Get
can send
better.
your
By the
way.
way, I do see the backpack there. I don't think she's going back to bed. I think kids are off to school.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
see
yeah.
the pink backpack hanging on the
Yes,
door.
that's correct.
Got
You
mom
kids.
It's an
duty.
Angry Birds. That's Angry Birds. Thanks for spying on me. It's an Angry